help themselves. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have now decided to brief to People magazine that their life in Portugal is just so blissful. No idea why we needed to know that. No one was asking. No one was trying to find them. And then we come to the most mad part. The paparazzi are tracking them down. They are on their tail. Oh, yes, they were there. They were there. But there just happened to be no pictures whatsoever. So what happened instead? Meghan posted these. Meghan posted the pictures of the family on the beach in Portugal, and we all saw them. Oh, this too. As Harry, Meghan Spare pointed out, sure, Meg, where did you take this photo? Wearing a sweater in the middle of summer. But apparently it's all about Portugal now, because people have headlined as their exclusive why Archie and Lilibet can simply be kids there. A source telling the magazine why the Sussexes keep returning to Portugal, where Archie and Lily are just so happy. And we're going to get into this ridiculous propaganda shortly, but first let me bring in royal YouTube sensation, according to Taz. Tash, this is so nuts. Like, how thick do they think we are? Firstly, why are you briefing about your personal holiday while then claiming your personal holiday is private? You don't see King Charles and Camilla do that. You don't see William and Catherine do that. If they are on a private family holiday, it remains a private family holiday. And as a result, there are no paparazzi pictures. Secondly, how twisted is it to announce to the world, oh no, the paparazzi were there, Tash. They were there. Yeah. They were after us, okay? They wanted us, they tracked us down. Promise. Security really is an issue. Oh, but there just happened to be no pictures. Well, Tash,
If this trip was genuinely about family, privacy, and giving Archie and Lilibet a normal childhood, why was the world told about it afterward in such extraordinary detail? Why the carefully curated photographs? Why the anonymous sources close to the Sussexes? Why the insistence that paparazzi were supposedly nearby while not a single independent image appeared anywhere? The contradictions keep piling up. Harry probably going to have serious mental health issues as they grow up. It becomes freakish. It becomes like a circus act. These are not candid moments with the kids having fun. They are staged, and the kids, you can almost hear Meghan be like, no, you can't look at the camera. Mommy needs to take this picture for social media. They just can't help themselves. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have now decided to brief to People magazine that their life in Portugal is just so blissful. No idea why we needed to know that. They were there, but they just happened to be no pictures whatsoever. So, what happened instead? Meghan posted these. Meghan posted the pictures of the family on the beach in Portugal, and we all saw them. Oh, this too. As Harry and Meghan Spare pointed out, sure Meg, when did you take this photo? Wearing a sweater in the middle of summer. But apparently, it's all about Portugal now because people have headlined as their exclusive. Archie and Lilibet can simply be kids there. A source telling the magazine why the Sussexes keep returning to Portugal, where Archie and Lily are just so happy. And we're going to get into this ridiculous propaganda shortly. But first let me bring in royal YouTube sensation, according to Taz. Tash, this is so nuts. Like, how thick do we think? How thick do they think we are? Firstly, why are you briefing about your personal holiday while then claiming your personal holiday is private? You don't see King Charles and Camilla do that. You don't see William and Catherine do that. If they are on a private family holiday, it remains a private family holiday, and as a result there are no paparazzi pictures. Secondly, how twisted is it to announce to the world, oh no, the paparazzi were there, Tash. They were there. They were after us, okay? They wanted us. They tracked us down. Promise, security really is an issue. Oh, but there just happened to be no pictures. Well, Tash, I usually know how this game works. If the paparazzi do capture pictures, they are published because that's how it works.
I usually know how this game works. If the paparazzi do capture pictures, they are published because that's how it works. They're not necessarily published in the mainstream British media or even the mainstream American media, but they find their way into a magazine in France or Australia or Europe. Exactly. So what are they trying to achieve here? Can I give you my theory, Tash? They
Go
have
on.
to keep pretending that they're a couple in demand, that there is a bounty on their head, that the paparazzi really do want them. So while they're if you are having to brief your normal, I would argue it means you're not normal, because this is all the article was really trying to say. It went on, the glimpse Meghan shared on Instagram backed up that picture of life in Portugal. Her summer holiday photo carousel captured the family playing on the beach, wandering through colourful markets and local shops, and dining at tucked-away neighbourhood eateries. That kind of normal family time is really important to Harry and Meghan, the source continues. Well, what are they doing the rest of the time? I ask, because they're not working. So clearly it's not normal family time in Montecito. But again, that backs our reporting, Tash, because they are not raised really by Harry and Meghan, are they? They're raised by the army of nannies.
That's why the photos are so bizarre, Dan. They're not families having fun. I mean, the photographs we get of the Wales children lying in the grass with their parents, they're all genuinely laughing and giggling or jumping over sand dunes. They're laughing as they're mid-air. These are not children interacting and having fun. And as for Meghan saying, oh, it shows, well, obviously People magazine and Liam Maguire saying, this shows them a normal family having fun. Yes, as the dad and the kids are all told to face one direction as Meghan gives herself a wedgie with her black swimsuit on the beach. I mean, I really do not understand why these pictures were released, but then we get a press release to accompany them to say, this just looks like normal family fun. No, it doesn't. It looks weird. It looks staged.
Briefing about this family holiday, the message, Tash, to the paparazzi, and by the way, to the terrorists who they claim are after them too, is hunt us down in Portugal. We need you to hunt us down, because unless you hunt us down, all of our argument about permanent British government paid security collapses. Am I being too cynical here, Tash?
No, you're not. I mean, for a security conscious couple, Meghan even posted a local restaurant, which is apparently located near where it was rumoured that they purchased a property.
Here's my house. Here's my house, terrorists. Come and visit.
Exactly this. And the other thing as well, I think the reason why we've had this exclusive with People to tell us after the fact that the paparazzi were there, because Meghan shot herself in the foot. It's a bit like this trip, them sneaking in and out of the UK to see the king. It proved that they can do it. So, of course, with her uploading all of these pictures of them on holiday in Portugal, she was like, oh, crap, I've just proved that we can move around Portugal. We can take the kids out to the beach. Harry and I can go around. And Harry's desperately still scraping, trying to get the security back. He's apparently still lobbying the Home Secretary. And I'm sure our latest Prime Minister, no doubt, will have a letter soon from Harry himself. But yeah, I think that she did the photo dump because she was so desperate to get attention, especially with Prince George's birthday, because obviously being the future king, that was going to run on for a couple of days. She did the photo dump and then she's gone, crap. I've just shown that we can move around Europe and nobody hassles us. So yeah, it's obvious that paparazzi weren't there, because one magazine at the very least would have lapped it up. The French do not care. They're the ones that published pictures of Catherine sunbathing topless. They would love to have their hands on photographs of Archie and Lily, who Harry and Meghan have actually put a bigger target on their head by playing all of the silly games that they have chosen to do.
Exactly. And that's why it annoys me so much when people in the mainstream media continue to take their moans and their calls for privacy seriously. I mean, I literally saw the Times of London reporting before the visit with the King, and they said this with a straight face. I couldn't believe it, because Meghan obviously believes in privacy for her children. Of course, she won't be sharing any images. It's like, seriously, if you are leaking details of your private holiday to People magazine, you're not just a D-lister, Tash. You're like a reality star. Like, even the Kardashians do not brief People magazine about private family holidays unless they're trying to promote some particular brand. But look, let's actually go into the article because it's hilarious. And remember, and you know I always like to set this stuff up, Tash, to contextualize. I think I've proven now over a long period of time, and I see the mainstream media have picked up on this line now too. People magazine is like the official propaganda magazine of the Sussexes. In the past, they haven't even admitted that Prince Harry has emailed them directly on some occasions, although my belief is that most of the briefing comes via Liam Maguire, who is their main propagandist now
Sauce.
based out of London. Yeah,
Sussex
exactly.
sauce.
The Sussex sauce, the close friend, until he's sacked when one of these articles go wrong. But anyway, This is the piece of propaganda, Tash. While the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have long kept their time there largely out of the spotlight and are thought to maintain a vacation home in the country, there's the source, Tash, tells people the destination has become a special retreat for the couple and their children, Archie and Lily. They love Portugal because Archie and Lilibet can simply be kids. The source tells people it's always very low key with beach days, playing and spending time together as a family. I mean, this is the most banal bullshit I have ever read in my life. Like, I was a mainstream journalist. I wouldn't publish this. Like, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting though, Tash, because clearly what they now know is that we are wise to the fact that these kids do not live a normal existence, right? They live a freakish existence. They're like prisoners in a gilded cage with two paranoid parents who, for their own motivation, are sort of using their imagery in an odd way to make points that don't even exist. Because why else would Liam Maguire say, they're just so normal. They're just so normal, Tash. They just go to the beach and play. Like, this is not
What's
news.
wrong with California?
Yeah, exactly. But this is not news unless you're trying to prove something. And what they're trying to prove is that the kids have a normal upbringing. Now, my reporting, Tash, for a long time is there is nothing normal about these kids' upbringing.
Nope. Gives vibes of Michael Jackson,
Big
trying
time.
to hide the children away. And I do honestly wonder what their mental health is going to be like with Harry, who is so paranoid, so delusional. I mean, we saw it on Netflix with Meghan saying, "We're being followed, Harry." And you saw genuine fear flicker on his face. I don't think that he faked that moment in the car because Harry just cannot act. But then I suppose nor can Meghan really. But he did have that fear. And I just think, those children must be so paranoid of cameras, of paparazzi hiding in bushes, that they're probably going to have serious mental health issues as they grow up. I mean, especially given the fact that Meghan wants to take photographs all of the time of them, but they have to turn around. I can't imagine what that does psychologically to a child growing up, going, "Oh, I want you to go play. I want you to chase your sister. I want you to go have your birthday dinner at Disney Resort, but you're not allowed to turn round. You're not allowed, go hug daddy, but make sure you turn your head." It's bizarre. I mean, I do understand some parents don't want to expose their children on social media, the internet. It's dangerous, of course it is. But obviously, when you have the number of photographs that she's released, it becomes freakish. It becomes like a circus act. Lots of parents have pictures of their children's backs of their heads because kids run around, they don't sit still. But these are so heavily contrived and so posed. And I think that's why the children always look so rigid, because these are not candid moments with the kids having fun. They are staged. And the kids, you can almost hear Meghan be like, no, you can't look at the camera. Mummy needs to take this picture for social media. But for the rest of the parents out there, remember the dangers of your children being on social media. It's mad.
Every time Harry and Meghan talk about privacy, they seem to be the ones putting the spotlight back on themselves. That's what makes this latest People magazine briefing so difficult to take seriously. The article repeatedly emphasizes how normal life is for Archie and Lilibet in Portugal. Beach days, family meals, quiet afternoons. But here's the thing. If your children are living normal lives, you don't usually have to issue a press release telling everyone they're living normal lives. Normal families don't announce that they're being left alone. They simply live their lives. And that's why so many people continue to question the Sussexes' messaging. Because the actions rarely match the words. One moment we're told they desperately need extraordinary taxpayer-funded security because they're among the world's biggest targets. The next moment they're happily strolling through public beaches, restaurants and markets in another European country without a single incident. Those two narratives simply don't sit comfortably together. Even more striking is the way the children continue to be presented. Whenever Meghan shares family photographs, the pattern is almost always identical. Faces turned away. Perfectly positioned. Carefully framed. Every image looks less like a spontaneous family memory and more like a planned photo shoot. Nobody is suggesting parents must show their children's faces online. Many families choose not to, and that's completely understandable.
Because again, it's always so performative. And as for Meghan, why is she giving herself a wedgie? Why did she think that was a good photograph to upload? I think the swimsuit was already high enough. We just didn't need that added extra. You know?
And then we come to this sort of like, please come and find us point where people goes on. The Sussexes have been linked to Portugal for several years, with reports suggesting they purchased a vacation home near the Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club on the Alentejo coast. While they have never publicly confirmed those reports, the country has increasingly become associated with the family's most private getaway. So in other words, we're confirming the reports to people right now.
Yeah.
Harry also has close family ties to Portugal. His cousin, Princess Eugenie, and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, split their time between the UK and Portugal after Brooksbank accepted a job there in 2022. The couple, who share sons August and Ernest, own a home at the Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club, a luxury development on the coast south of Lisbon. Portugal also offers a practical advantage, just a roughly 2.5 to 3 hour flight from the UK. It allows the family to be far closer to Harry's home country than when they're in California. Sources close to the Duke of Sussex have long said he hopes to spend more time in Britain with family, friends, and the charity and organisation continues to support through ongoing security concerns have complicated those plans. Well, again, I just call bullshit on this, Tash, because what I'm very sick of, I don't know about you, but I'm very sick of mainstream media propagandists trying to rewrite history. Sources close to the Sussexes have not long said he hopes to spend more time in Britain with the family. Indeed, for a very, very long time, Tash, until the money ran out, they were actually reporting quite the opposite, that they never wanted to return. Exactly, he loves it.
It was his new home. Yeah, I know. It is bullshit. It's this big turnaround. The mainstream media have done a turnaround because there are people obviously trying to, I would say, aid and abet Harry and Meghan's return to the UK. And it is just a turn of events. We saw it happen as soon as the deals started drying up, especially Netflix. I mean, that was the final death blow, as it were. But once it became more apparent that they weren't breaking Hollywood, the A-listers were shutting the doors. No one was giving them blank checks anymore. They'd lost Spotify, they lost Netflix. No one was paying, what was it, £500,000 for them to speak publicly. They couldn't even fill seats when they were in Australia. So, of course, they've had this panic going, we need to continue our lifestyle. The only thing left that we've got to do is to fake having some humble pie. But they're not apologizing. They've never once turned around and said, we're sorry for the accusations that we did, even though that a lot of them have turned out to be lies. This is just them trying to steamroll, to railroad their way back into the public's, not the good books, because the public are going to be far harder than King Charles. That I'm certain, but it's them trying to push this narrative that they can just simply change their minds and come back. They're a well-loved family members. No, they're not. They are not. And the royals have obviously got their doors firmly shut. And I think even the king is giving them some very serious side eye. But it's just this same rinse and repeat. Even this morning I woke up, we've got GB News, one of our least favourite channels, Dan. GB News saying that the king has allowed Harry to stay at Buckingham Palace when he comes back. And you're like, did you just copy and paste this? Because it's this exactly the same as we heard all of last month into the build-up of them coming. Stop telling people no one cares. But Harry isn't staying at his dad's place. He's not staying inside a royal residence, a private residence. He's staying at Buckingham Palace, where I suppose dignitaries and other politicians and people come stay, like basically the equivalent of the palace Airbnb. So Harry's not being welcomed back, but they're constantly pushing this at the same time. The Sussex propaganda people are as well. But yeah,
well, that's Cameron Walker. He's BFFs with Omid Scobie, and so Omid Scobie got him involved in the sort of Sussex camp, and now he is one of their propagandists, probably their main propagandist in the broadcast media, alongside Chris Shipp of Woke ITV.
The horticulturist expert.
But there's definitely like a big briefing campaign going on, because of course it was Matt Wilkinson in The Sun who first ran the story that Harry had been re-offered Buckingham Palace. But on this whole Portugal situation, I enjoyed the take of Brittany of the Royal News Network, who said, and this was something that I was thinking too, Tash, how can they not be kids in California? where they aren't bothered at all. And the only pictures that appear are from their mother. Not sure what the point of these leaks are, unless Harry and Meghan are going to relocate eventually to Portugal. And I don't think that is the case at all. I don't think that's the plan at all. I think the point of the leaks is twofold. Firstly, to try and convince a very sort of skeptical public, for good reason, that these guys are normal when there's nothing normal about their upbringing, and we know that. And then secondly, to try and actually suggest that they get photographed in these places, because that's what would help their cause. And then that brings me to...
That's exactly what they're up to.
Yeah, because that brings me to the second most bonkers leak of the week. And again, the mainstream media just looked over this one. I guess there's been so much going on this week, but it's Jack Royston in Newsweek. Now, again, I like to paint a bit of a picture about where these sort of mainstream journalists come from. He used to be at The Sun. I knew him then, actually. Then he became the ultimate propagandist for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle at Newsweek. I think he understood he couldn't keep doing that because public opinion had turned so strongly against him. Yeah, well, I think he saw the half light. Do you know what I mean? He saw the half light, because he still will take a bit of their propaganda. And that's what he's done this week, because basically he is pushing this idea, and Jack, you should wise up, that the paparazzi are after them but couldn't find them. Trust me, right? I know how the paparazzi operate. If they really want to find you, they find you. You know, I've been found by the paparazzi. I've also understood what it's like when the paparazzi are trying to find a new couple like Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston or something like that. They find you. And Meghan and Harry have signposted where they are. But anyway, let me take you through.
Literally.
Yeah, literally, exactly. Come and
find us. This is the restaurant just down the road. You can come see us here.
And we're going to be at Althorpe on these dates, you know, maybe even put your drone up into the air, because then we'll be able to say that you were trying to bomb us.
They're desperate for it. That's exactly what they're up to, Dan. That is exactly what they're up to. They need a real incident to happen, not a fake New York car chase, not a fake fangirl waiting in the hotel toilets, not a member of the Sussex squad in the courtroom that Harry suddenly feared for his life and had to be bundled out by. They need an actual real, not incident, but they need something that they could use and say, see, look, we're in danger. You're kind of asking to put yourself in danger because you keep telling everybody exactly where and when you will be. And the problem is that they are facing nobody cares. No one. 100%. And that's why it's not happening.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And that's why you're in this bizarre situation. I promise you, I've never seen this before, with a major celebrity couple briefing a reporter that, I promise you, the paparazzi really did come after us. There's just no pictures. It's so odd. So anyway, let me take you through it, because as I say, this is such a weird article, Tash. So Jack Royston writes, and again, it's clearly been briefed again directly by the Sussexes and Liam.
But when almost every image feels choreographed specifically to conceal identity while simultaneously generating headlines, people naturally begin asking questions. Because these aren't private moments anymore. They're public content. And once you decide to publish them, discussion inevitably follows. That's the trade-off every public figure understands. The irony is impossible to ignore. Harry has spent years criticizing the media for intruding into his private life. Yet so much of the current publicity appears to originate from carefully managed briefings by his own team. People magazine doesn't randomly know intimate details of private family holidays. Someone tells them. Someone provides the narrative. Someone wants those stories published. And that's why many observers believe this latest article isn't really about Portugal at all. It's about perception. It's about reminding the public that Harry and Meghan remain relevant. It's about reinforcing the idea that they're constantly pursued. And perhaps, as critics suggest, it's about strengthening arguments surrounding future security requests. Whether that's the intention or not, the messaging has become increasingly difficult to ignore. Because if the goal is genuine privacy, the simplest solution has always existed. Don't publicize private moments. Don't release curated family albums. Don't brief magazines after every vacation.
Writes, yet no paparazzi photos of the family were published at either leg of their European vacation. despite the fact both destinations were forecast by the tabloid press at the time. Now, to be honest, Tash, the article should just stop at that point. It should just stop at that point. Like, it's done. Yep. The destinations were forecast and there were no paparazzi. It should just stop. But instead, he goes on and he writes, Newsweek has been told the Sussexes team were aware of paparazzi presence, but were able to avoid them. Really? I mean, we've seen the Instagram photos. You're not trying to avoid them. You're literally standing on a public beach. Meghan's Instagram photos included images of the couple at the beach and at the restaurant named about 15 minutes from the Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club. So here is an article briefed by the Sussexes where Jack Royston, as Tash pointed out, literally revealing specific location details down to the mile. He says that suggests they were out in public in the same neighbourhood where the press had long been reporting they owned a home. But no paparazzi pictures were published in the British press because no one took them. Jack Royston, no one wanted them. Then comes the analysis, and this is where I take real issue, Tash. The absence of paparazzi images is notable given that the family continues to conceal their children's faces in Instagram posts, meaning there are few recent full-face images of Archie and Lily in circulation. In a previous era, that might have been expected to fuel demand for paparazzi photographs of the children, yet there has been little public sign of such a scramble. One possible explanation is the development of privacy law in Britain and Europe, under which publishers can face legal challenges over photographs of children even when they're taken in public places. That principle was established in 2014 after a successful legal action brought by the musician Paul Weller against the publisher of the Mail. So Tash, what my understanding there is that they want this battle. What they want is someone to publish pictures of Archie and Lily, and they can then use this privacy law to fight a big new legal case because they've had to accept they can't go after the newspapers anymore.
They can't go after the newspapers. It looks like Harry is going to be hit very, very hard with this A&L payout that he and the other claimants have got to do. They've got no big deals. Netflix has dumped them. No one is really signing the big checks for them anymore, as I said. They're going to need money. They are going to need money to come in, and they spend a lot of money each year on private security. Harry has never accepted that it's been taken away from him, and it's obvious that he's still going to continue no matter how many times he gets told no. But this is where I do believe it's all being calculated. They are desperate now to get some sort of incident to happen. Nothing too serious, of course, not that anyone would want anything serious to happen. But I think that they are so desperate now to make sure that people do actually take photographs of them, or even better, the children, like you said, and then they can use it. It's calculated. I think anybody that's watched this couple and their behavior and all of the things that they've done, the stunts, I mean, who can forget them setting up that New York car chase? I mean, I am honestly just really grateful that it was the paparazzi that decided to clear their name, and they released the media that they took publicly, which showed them willingly getting into a taxi, willingly stopping, willingly letting their one bodyguard get out of the taxi as they were allowed to surround the car. Otherwise, everybody would have fallen for it. So I think there is probably a warning when it comes to Harry and Meghan, even amongst the paparazzi themselves, to be very, very careful what they get themselves involved in. I mean, Meghan is, as we know, she's someone that sets up the paparazzi shots. She set up those famous ones when she was in Canada, carrying Archie. Remember when they first moved over there? And then she sued Splash, wasn't it? She sued and she won. And it just goes to show that these guys are not above setting up the paparazzi to get what they want.
Well, I mean, it's all she knew in her early years in London before Prince Harry. You know, she was Little Miss Paparazzi. Tash, I also just wanted to touch on the Althorpe photos because you posted quite an important clarification on this, right? And some people are missing the point over me saying this photo was sickening. You write, this isn't about me criticising two parents taking their children to see their grandmother's grave, nor is it that it's been made into a fun thing for them rather than a solemn occasion. I am criticising the fact that this private moment was photographed and posted for social media engagement. It's about associating the children to the late Princess Diana for financial gain, raising their children's stock value. Prince William and Catherine have no doubt taken their children to do the same, but they would publicise it. Some things should remain private. This is a couple that have accused many people, including the royal family, of selling stories and invading their privacy, yet here they are, sharing with the world their children's first visit to Granny's grave. It's completely hypocritical. They haven't done this for any of Meghan's relatives, have they? What about letting the children meet their grandfather, Thomas Markle, who is alive? Let them build a relationship with him before it's too late. But we all know why they wouldn't do that. And I did think that was an important clarification, Tash, because of course there is nuance in these situations, including with the meetings with the king. It's about how it's done and why it's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that they have got no intentions of letting the children build relationships up with their relatives. The only one that they've recently decided that they can bring their children to the UK, despite not getting all of the demands they wanted, is the king, because he is the most financially beneficial one for their children to have a relationship with, or at least to start. But for all of the other people, I mean, Thomas Markle, he is alive, and that their children are at an age where you cannot build these bonds back once you're older. And the sad matter of the fact is that Thomas Markle will not be around when the children are older. And they've got lots of other living and breathing relatives, but Harry and Meghan have made sure that the children are not allowed to build up a relationship with them. And to take them to Diana's grave, a woman that they've never met, they've never seen outside of photographs, it means absolutely nothing for them. This isn't being done for Archie and Lily to learn about their heritage, to learn, anything to do with their family bloodline. This is being done for monetary gain for Harry and Meghan. And I still can't help but feel, I've just got this nagging gut feeling that we will be seeing more photographs of Althorpe when they do work together.
I couldn't agree more.
For that Diana documentary.
I could not agree more. I actually appeared on the Meghan Kelly show earlier in the week, and I said to her, it's my educated guess. That was the term I used. It is my educated guess that this is just the start of what we're going to see out of their mobile phones from Althorpe. It was a little message to Netflix. It was a little message to the entertainment community. We got the goods. They're on my phone. Yeah. Here's just a little taster, just so all of the headlines are about the fact, there are pictures, there are imagery. Look, Tash, do stand by, because I want to talk to you about some of the fallout from Meghan Markle on MasterChef Australia, which continues to go on. Also, though, Tash, is it possible that actually With Love Meghan is not the worst lifestyle show of all time? Because a British celebrity may now just have usurped her. This is quite astonishing because, as I say, I think you all know, there's no show I despise more than With Love Meghan. Maybe that's now changed.
Just disappear for a while. Ironically, that's exactly what Prince William and Princess Catherine tend to do during family holidays. They leave. The palace says nothing. The media largely respects that. Then they return to work. No lengthy exclusives. No anonymous sources. No carefully managed narratives. Just quiet family time. That's why every new Sussex media campaign attracts so much scrutiny. People have started recognizing the pattern. Privacy is requested. Then publicity follows. Silence is promised. Then another exclusive appears. At some point, those contradictions become impossible to ignore. And that's where I'll leave today's discussion. What do you think? Is this genuinely a couple trying to protect their family, or has the line between privacy and publicity become hopelessly blurred? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your perspective. If you enjoyed today's analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest royal updates. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.